Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Chakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth with 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sincere sisters who believe in this gospel. Lord willing, y'all were able to hear that. I had this thing connected to my truck, and sometimes the truck microphone overpowers my phone microphone whenever I got it hooked up. But anyway, though, Lord willing, y'all heard the introduction. I want to entitle this lesson, "They Shall Make Thee an Offender for a Word." So I got a clip that I just seen. I don't know exactly who this woman is. I believe she was speaking Yiddish, and they've translated it to English. But it's basically going into what they call anti-Semitism, which there's no such thing as Semitic. You have Shem or Shemitic, you know what I'm saying? But they are pushing a campaign on cracking down on what they call anti-Semitism, which is basically calling out the small hats for what they've been doing across the earth, all of the unearned and unwarranted benefits they've been getting. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to American taxpayer dollars. Them getting all of these incentives, free education, free healthcare, right? While the American people here are suffering, calling them out for being, pedos, PDF files, following after that wicked Babylonian Talmud, and following after those demonic anti-biblical practices that they have in that thing. Bombing innocent nations like Gaza and Lebanon. That's what they're going to call anti-Semitism. Basically calling out these small hatters, these tiny toppers, for what they've been doing and perpetuating across the earth. And they're definitely they're setting up for coming for this truth. Right? So let's go ahead and get into this video here. Lord willing, this video lesson is edifying. There we go.
Target Jewish students, your actions will not disappear into the darkness. We will shine a light on you that, thanks to Google and SEO, will follow you for the rest of your life. When you look for a job, when you look for a spouse, when you look for a nanny, when you look for anything, our work will always be documented, again thanks to Google and SEO. In corporations where DEI leaders smeared Israel, excused Hamas, we pressured CEOs. Some resigned, many were terminated, but policies were changed, thankfully, from governmental to art institutions. Online, where anonymous accounts spread violent threats, we traced patterns, elevated evidence, and worked with authorities, leading to arrests from Florida, South Carolina, New York, California, and Texas. And we're not slowing down, sadly. Today, Stop Anti-Semitism, I'm proud to say, runs one of the most robust anti-Semitic enforcement operations in the United States, monitoring campuses, digital networks, activist groups, and public officials, documenting incidents in real time and mobilizing millions of people, of allies that are quietly by our side. But the fight is bigger than the exposure, and it's about securing a future where Jewish students can walk across the quad without being screamed at, a future where employers understand that anti-Semitism is not activism, it's bigotry, and it will cause you to lose your job. Target Jewish students.
All right, so you heard what she said, right? So she's basically going after, people's livelihoods who speak out against the tiny toppers, and the wickedness that they perpetuate throughout the earth. Right? See, nobody is of course you've got some extremists out there, but nobody's really encouraging harm and violence against them. They're just calling out all of the things that they do that's been hidden for so long, and that's been masked as, the holy people of the Most High, which through this truth, through this knowledge, this ministry, we understand that they're not the people, but they're imposters who have claimed and stolen the land of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah and claim to be the true Israelites of the Bible, which they're not. And this is gonna escalate to imprisonment. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation. I want to say chapter 2. We actually, we can start at verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now, this is talking about actual Israelites who, this is talking about actual Israelites who are not moving in the spirit and in the conduct and order of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, but they're faking the funk. Right? Here it is, you say you're an Israelite, that you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, but you're going against the Bible. You're disguising yourself as an Israelite, but you're not moving and conducting yourself according to the scriptures. Right? This is talking about that. This can also be used for those tiny toppers, right? Because it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. Those people are not in poverty, right? Those people are not in poverty. Those people are they live good. They live good, right? What's the guy? I can't remember the guy's name. I did a video about him a little while ago, where he was basically going to that tiny topper enclave up there in New Jersey and New York, inquiring about, hey, what do you guys do for work? What do you guys do every day? How do y'all have so many kids and you don't have jobs? You don't work? Inquiring about what's really going on. And these people are basically taking over politically and overruling everything in those neighborhoods and those towns and those areas, taking the resources and putting them to their own agendas, right? Not giving a damn about the other people who live there, because there are other groups of people who live in those areas, but now it's just been predominantly taken over by the tiny toppers, right? And they've just been extracting all of the resources that they possibly can and putting them to their own, uses, agendas, schools, neighborhoods, and everything like that, while also neglecting every other group and nationality of people that live in those towns. So these people are not in poverty. They're not in straits. The scriptures said that the Israelites will be in a lowly estate. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. There's not going to be any, welfare systems that are given predominantly to Israel by another powerful nation. There's not going to be any free education, free healthcare, and all of these things, that these benefits, that these benefits that these tiny toppers receive. That's not prophesied in the Bible. The scriptures say that Israel is going to depend on their oppressors. When you look at who Israel is, who that's talking about, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who do they depend on? They depend on Esau, Edom for everything, right? But look, let's go here to verse 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life," right? So the prophets, this is what they're really setting up for. They're setting up to come after the prophets. They're setting up to come after the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's who they're setting up to come for. Because I forgot whatever that lady was about a year or two ago, who basically said the biggest threat to the nation state of Israel is young African American men. That's what she said. She said the biggest threat to them is us, is the true Israelites. Why? Because we're bringing it out that they're frauds and we're the real deal. And they cannot stand that. So, and they understand that they're not the people. They know that they're not the people, you know, or as far as their leaders. The younger ones, who don't really know, they really believe that they are the people there, but they'll soon find out that they've inherited lies, right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, and I'm gonna start at verse 16. It says, "Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks." Right? So when the Lord delivers us and we get sent back down here in the new bodies as an angelic force, we're gonna hunt down the elite, the wicked elite, out of their bunkers, out of their hiding places, and wherever they may be in the earth. We're gonna hunt them down, and we're gonna turn them to the first fruits of captivity. Right? Verse 17. "For mine eyes are upon all their ways; they are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes." Right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he sees them. He sees what they're doing. He sees what's going on. But it's already written, the elect are going to receive victory. Right? The elect are going to receive victory. Verse 18. "And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." Right? All of their people who believe that they're the true people, they'll soon find out that they've been lied to. They're going to soon find out that, damn, we ain't the ones. Because look at what's going on now, man. They're fleeing that land. They're fleeing that land because Iran is putting belt to ass, right? And they're fleeing. That's not prophecy. Scriptures don't say that after Israel returned to the land, they're going to flee because of war. That ain't prophecy. That ain't got nothing to do with biblical prophecy, right? The scriptures say what? The scriptures say what? Ah, shit. Salakia. This is Jeremiah 33 and verse 15. This is what the scriptures say. It says, in those days and at that time will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. In those days shall Judah be saved, right? Because they say that they're the tribe of Judah or Yehudi, and Levi or Levi, but they don't know what the other ones are though, right? But they're in the land. They're in the land. They fulfill prophecy, but it's only two tribes there, right? Don't make sense. But if you are Judah, what does it say? It says, in those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. Jerusalem shall dwell safely. So you ain't gonna have to worry about getting rockets launched on your land. You ain't got to build no iron dome. If you got to build an iron dome, that's because you're afraid of something. You're afraid of getting bombarded by ballistic missiles. That's why you got to build an iron dome. And it's failing, by the way, too. But that's why you're doing that, because you're not dwelling in safety. So that means what? That means you're not the true people, because it says the true people, Judah and Jerusalem, shall dwell safely in the land. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, the Lord our righteousness, right? Righteousness will be pushed through the earth. The true Israelites in the Bible are going to dwell safely in the land. They're not going to have to worry about missiles, war, right? The scriptures say that there shall be no more war. So what's going on with that? Why is there war breaking out all throughout the earth? That's because we're in the end times, man. And these people who claim to be the people are not the people. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 19. Was this the right one? Yeah, this is right. It says, the meek also shall increase their joy in the Lord, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the thing for a thing of naught, right? So they're going to make a man an offender for a word, speaking the truth, because that's what they hate, truth. Them tiny toppers, they hate the truth. Esau in general, but definitely these motherfuckers. They love to put it out there as we're just the holy people and everybody hates us and everybody wants to go to war from us or war with us, and we need America to save us and baby us and take care of us and give us all kind of money, especially from their taxpayer base, no matter how much the hell that they going through back home. Just give us all of their money, and because the scriptures say what? He who blesses Israel shall be blessed, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the shit that they own. But then it's really the other way around, right? They go after innocent people, blowing up, you know, school buildings full of young girls, attacking countries who or attacking lands of people who can't defend themselves. You know that saying where they or where kids will say, "Pick on somebody your own size." Well, now another motherfucker their own size, even bigger, has come around and is whooping their ass, right? And they've been talking about this anti-Semitic, crackdown thing for a long time, but definitely not in these days, man. They're gonna be pushing that harder, right? I'm pretty sure brothers have been seeing these billboards of this whatever this anti um anti-Semitic, damn, what's the word? Um I guess one of these groups that try to, thwart anti-Semitism is called Jew Belong or something like that. I've never been to the website, but I see their billboards all the time, or at least I used to. I don't really see them too much no more. But they were around for a good period of time, and they were pushing this rhetoric that we got to stop anti-Semitism and everything like that. When now what we're seeing is everybody's just calling out these people for what they've been doing. Everybody's calling these people out. That's really what's going on, and that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to put a stop to that because they have an agenda. They want to steal the blessing. That's what that whole Greater Israel project is about. Is they're trying to artificially take the blessing that was given to Abraham. That's really what that's about. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 68. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." Right? So they're going to seek to take away and throw the men of the Lord, the prophets, in jail, in prison. They're going to seek to imprison us. It says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." Right? So they're going to come after the prophets. They're going to come after so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans as a whole. But their main objective is to wipe the prophets off the earth, wipe the men of the Lord off the earth. Because if they can do that, they can steal the blessing. Or at least that's what they believe. Verse 71, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire," right? So it's all just a part of our trial. It's all just a part of the condition of the battle. It's just what we got to go through to get to the kingdom. As the scriptures say, "Through much tribulation thou shalt receive the kingdom," or shalt thou enter into the kingdom. Right? Through much tribulation. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, starting at verse 1. It says, "But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them." Right? The souls of the righteous are in the hands of the Lord. It says, "In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery," right? Because in times past, the prophets, the men of the Lord, have been beaten, killed, put to death, things like that. And it seemed like, to be a prophet that you're losing. That's what it seemed like to a lot of people. Persecution, going through all this hell, right? But now is the time that the men of the Lord are going to catch those, or are going to, have those wins in righteousness, right? Because it's going to be made known who's the chosen of the Lord. It's going to be made known, and you're going to see the prophets and the men of the Lord win, right? You're going to see us win. Verse 3, it says, "And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality." Again, we got to go through that tribulation, but our hope is to be immortal. Those new bodies, rulers in the kingdoms, right? Verse 5, "And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them and found them worthy for himself, As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. Who's going to be the stubble? Esau. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and the Lord shall reign forever. Right? We're going to have dominion over all of the nations. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be our lot. We're going to be kings, rulers in righteousness. And we're going to be setting up kingdom infrastructure. Right? The kingdom is going to be run like a business. Verse 9, it says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. So again, man, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh is rooting for us to win. The Lord is rooting for us to win this battle and receive the victory. So we just got to step into our lots. We got to step into our role. We got to tap into the spirit. Keep moving, keep going, no matter what. So look, with that, Lord willing, this video lesson was edifying. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakodash. Until next time, Shalom.